went like super deep or something like that, and it's like a 1-for-4 exchange, I'll still be very irritated, and I'll be like, "God, you're so dumb. Why would you do that?" And then I'll start taking it very seriously. But I'm kind of cheap, and so tips I'm always like, sweet, free shards, I'll take it. I don't really care. And all chat generally doesn't bother me too much. So yeah.
Give me the TI season battle pass. What maybe will be a year-long battle pass. Tip me every game. I'll be out of position for my team to farm, and I'll take the tips. Thank you very much.
Bring me to that baby Roshan level 1000 without even me spending $1. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, give me to that baby Roshan. I'll get it delivered in 2 years. I'll be happy, and I'll have the statue on my shelf. It's okay. But going into this draft, we take a look as Earth Spirits picked up this time for Team Family with Queen of Pain and the Keeper of the Light. And it looks like that should be a 5-up Earth Spirit. He played the Earth Shaker in the 4 position last game. I don't think this is going to be a Kato in the 4. Earth Spirit taking the majority of the support farm, and then KSK now Gyro, Bane, Rubik, Void Spirit. So they're locked down potentially there, as they've got Nightmare to work with, as well as the Fiend's Grip, Telekinesis, if they land the Aether Remnant and the Homie Missile. Like, there's a lot here for KSK in a team fight to get some control out, or even just a pick off.
Yeah, meanwhile, Family are kind of lacking. They have the Stun and the Silence from the Earth Spirit, which will definitely be irritating for the Void Spirit. But outside of that, not really as much hard disable as KSK. So I would hope that they pick up an offlaner with, I don't know, some sort of disable. Centaur is available. I'd be down for a Centaur. I think Stampede would be pretty valuable. And who else? Who's the Kuro? Let's see. What does Kuro have in his arsenal? Darkseer, Prophet, Beastmaster, Doom, Kunkka, Sand King. Oh, I'd be down for Sand King. Sand King or Centaur. Bat Rider also. I don't know. Anything that has a disable and can initiate. Okay, that's also good. It has a pretty solid disable, especially against the Void Spirit. And Blade Mail I can see being very, very valuable this game. And obviously, very, very solid offlaner. And it will have a hard dispel for Bane's Fiend's Grip. So if anyone gets Fiend's Grip, just press their attack and they're all good.
And the Legion coming in with the Queen of Pain. I like Legion in the offlane. I think it's one of those heroes that can be very valuable for you, but it's also one of those heroes that sometimes you see doesn't do anything in the first 10 minutes, and then that leads to like it not doing anything at all. It sometimes can be super hit or miss, and I get worried in a situation like this.
She'll never really like catastrophically lose her lane though. So like at the minimum, she'll still like get experience and get levels. But yeah, I agree that in terms of other offlaners, it's less likely that we'll see Gyrocopter die in this lane compared to some other lanes.
10 seconds remaining.
So let's see, they ban that Sork out last.
Oh yeah, okay, so now we need to find a Sunlight hero.
Go back to the Phantom Lancer?
Wouldn't be bad, but I think there are better options available. Against a Gyrocopter and Void Spirit, they don't really struggle against Phantom Lancer that much compared to like the Anti-Mage does. Let's see. It's the Gyrocopter. What is Sunlight? Oh, actually, Sunlight's like a mid player from what I saw. Because most of his heroes that were listed were all like mid heroes. Yeah, so he has Shadow Fiend, Monkey King, Kunkka, Mars. He's pretty well rounded. Oh, he has Lycan. I wonder. Oh no, Lycan was first phase banned. He has Morphling. Oh, Morphling. Dude, Morphling would be great. I'd be a big Morphling fan. Okay.
Okay, so Troll comes in. And the last pick goes to KSK again, and with their last pick in the previous game, they went Bristle mid.
Yeah.
Which I think maybe thankfully for them, it's banned this time.
Yeah, now they have to pick up a mid laner. Well, actually, Void Spirit's probably the mid, I would guess, and they're looking for an offlane core to go up against this Troll Warlord.
It certainly could be the offlane for the Void Spirit, but I feel like it's going to be their mid.
Yeah, I just think there's too much value in an Aghanim Scepter this game for the Void Spirit with the silence against this Queen of Pain and this Troll. So I prefer the Void Spirit having more farm, but he's definitely capable of like doing fine against a Troll Warlord if they do want to turn it into an offlane. Okay, so last time they had the Mars, and the Mars player plays a lot of Legion Commander, plays a lot of Abaddon. I don't really think Abaddon would be that great this game. Night Stalker. Night Stalker's like surprisingly slept on. I don't know why he's not more popular. I find the hero to be fairly good. His Aghanim Scepter got nerfed to like the ground, but I still think that the hero is like very, very consistent laning phase, and I don't know. I always favor heroes who provide vision, and so with Beastmaster being banned, Nature's Prophet being banned, you'd see all these vision heroes be very, very popular these days, and somehow Night Stalker is just kind of falling by the wayside.
Especially with how much it seems like offlaners just get banned throughout
Yeah.
drafts these days. I'm surprised it never falls to him, or not as much. Taking a
I'm
lot of
assuming
time
it'll be
thinking
an
about this
offlaner.
pick, and the Centaur.
Okay.
Now select your heroes.
So
Yeah,
finish it
it's
off with another stun.
another Sun, more initiation, a hero that does not really have to worry too much about Troll Warlord or Coddle in the offlane. So yeah, I'm perfectly content. Yet again, overall pretty even drafts. I would say that Family definitely had a draft advantage in game one, just because it seemed like the anti-mage had a lot to deal with. In this game, it will kind of come on to Copy's Void Spirit, I think. I think in their series versus Viking, I was saying how Mio's Queen of Pain really needed to snowball, and then he didn't. And this game, he doesn't necessarily need to snowball, but he needs to make sure he does not lose mid versus Copy, because a Void Spirit who gets super farmed can be a massive nuisance this game, because like I said, the Aghanim Scepter is so value, the silence is so value against all the heroes on Family.
So Sunlight on this Troll, Crowpath on the Legion Commander, 5-up will be on that Earth Spirit, Mio on the Queen of Pain, Master Risk on that Coddle with 0 on the Centaur, low skill on the Gyro, Filmity on the Bane, Solar on the Rubik, Copy on the Void Spirit. So, I just
Have faith in the
Nervous.
Hungarians.
I'm nervous about the Hungarians. You know, coming into this best of 3, I talked about how Team Family felt like they had a lack of execution, and now I'm seeing Team Family they executed really well in the first game, but seeing some of that lack of execution for KSK, that they have a lot to set up here. They have a lot of stuns. They have a lot that can really make their team fights work, a lot that can make their pickoffs work, but can they execute it? And that's what worries me. It shouldn't be hard with this lineup. They've got so much lockdown, and I feel like they have multiple
really,
initiation options.
really. The most dangerous thing is if they use too much of their lockdown, like, and they don't, I don't know, stagger their disables appropriately. Because against a hero like a Troll Warlord who can get the battle trance off, against a hero like Queen of Pain who can be able to blink out, and against a hero like Legion Commander who can purge all that stuff off, you need to be very, very careful about how you distribute your disables, which they have a lot. So there's some margin for error, but yeah, I'm with you. It's definitely not on autopilot for their team fights for sure.
We'll see how
0
this goes.
30 seconds.
on the Centaur already gets 4 stacks to the Retaliate off of that bot tier 1 tower. Everyone's having a chuckle.
Oh man, I remember you just used to, and sometimes you still do, but you just see like a Centaur just go under mid for a little bit, hang out.
Yeah, mid used to be the main thing, and then Centaur, everyone just started racing mid as soon as there was a Centaur in the game. And now Zero's taking a lot of abuse from all angles. Blinding Light? Yep. Well, he rolls out of the base with 10 Retaliate stacks, although he did take quite a bit of abuse. And wow, Master Risk is shameless. He's still just following him around, maybe trying to see if he did end up taking that bounty rune. But 11 Retaliate stacks. right at the base. Pretty nice for a centaur.
So Zero and Solar will be down here over bottom. Against Sunlight and Master Risk. I'm very interested to see how Mio does over mid. One of the things I'd like to see from Mio this game is what he did on the Ember in the previous game and rotate and take those opportunistic chances to get some kills.
Yeah, but it seemed very dependent on the runes. Like, I don't really think Mio was like, oh, now it's like a time for me to do it. It was like, haste rune. All right, I guess I'll rotate. But I agree that, like, I do think that should be the play, and yet somehow Mio kind of seems a little bit more conservative more often than not.
Which I think hurts his overall performance at times. Something we saw in Viking GG series, just sitting mid and not really taking those chances.
Because usually, as well, Zero is taking a ton of abuse. Usually, whenever the mid laner's off the map, then everyone's kind of on edge because they're like, oh, like the bot lane, she could be ganking bot at any moment. She could be ganking top at any moment. But for some mid laners, you're just like, oh, they're just in the jungle. I have nothing to be concerned about. Even if they're not in vision, like chances are they're probably jungling right now. And for some of them, it's dependent on the draft. Like for alchemists, obviously, you're not expecting an alchemist to be rotating. But for heroes like Ember Spirit, for heroes like Queen of Pain, the reason you draft them is because you want them to create that pressure by doing nothing. Just by like not being on the map, you want the enemy safe lane carrier to be like, should I go for this creep wave? I don't know where their Queen of Pain is, or something like that.
Every time Mio throws this dagger over at Copy, he's just like, alright, dissimulate. I'll avoid that. But it's making him use it every so often. Maybe not in the way that he'd like to.
Yeah, especially
mana out of his hands.
Oh, 5 up actually dies.
Drops over towards top, and we'll end up hitting the deck there. Got themselves a little bit of a lead with that kill, but how much is it really worth in terms of this lane up towards top? Like, can they live with that? Is that First Blood? It seems like it's maybe not as important as it used to be.
Yeah, especially because I think one of the biggest things was like, if supports would get First Blood, then they would get boots, and then they would start rotating all over the place. That has kind of died off because tri-lanes are not as popular, so you can't really afford to have one of your supports just leave the lane. And it does end up having Bane get the First Blood bounty anyway, so not really sure how much you can do with that. At the end of the day, it seems more dependent on how much regen are you having to trade, and how much regen does a First Blood allow you to buy.
Somewhat used again. Copy just avoiding Mio, constantly throwing out that Shadow Strike. He's gone into the 2-1-1 build so far.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I'm surprised that it's still as even as it is, because Void Spirits against most range heroes are very, very dependent on Resonant Pulse to be able to get creeps. And in this situation, Copy is spending the majority of his mana on Dissimulate, and yet he's still doing fairly well in terms of last hits. And they're like neck and neck in net worth also, so it's not like Copy is spending like a bunch on mana regen either. Yeah, this is surprisingly even. I was not expecting it to be this balanced.
They missed that rolling boulder over towards top, and we're unable to get Filmini. Maybe if it hit that Bane, they were looking towards a potential kill there. Right now, Legion's sitting at 21-2, so Kuropath having a decent time towards top, and out CSing right now low skill, who gets struck up by that overwhelming odds, and he just needs to be careful. He's sitting a little bit low, maybe an attack comes in, and that's what I'm talking about, a potential to go after low skill.
Well, with that roll, it seems like Filmini should be able to scoop both the bounty runes. Now he sees the Legion Commander leave the lane, and he's like, alright, I don't want any part of that, instead I'll just settle for one. No, on the flip side, Masterus Coddle also manages to sneak one. So, 2 apiece. Unfortunately, Solar, he's not going to get any experience because the Centaur is just creep cutting the entire time, so The whole Rubik is just here to make sure that the tower doesn't get pushed in, but in terms of actually getting experience, he's kind of screwed.
Now, Filmini gets that Nightmare on Kuropath. That'll keep him alive as they were trying to go into that Bane once again. And now finally Kuropath's starting to fall behind in terms of experience, and maybe that's more just due to the fact that Filmini had backed off the lane quite a bit, and he hasn't really been as involved.
They're
Pop
kind of
that
going
mango.
on 0 in the bot lane. 5 up is down here, looking for a roll.
There's the roll coming through. Zero taking a lot of damage and will be kicked under tower. Wasn't expecting the Earth Spirit, and will end up losing his life.
It leaves Legion Commander alone a little bit on the top lane, but I don't really think she's too concerned. This is... Okay, so they get the sleep, but I don't really think they can do anything. Let's see.
We'll
Yeah,
try
this
with the homing missile, but
overwhelming
he's so fast.
Yeah. And he has 14 stick charges. He's fine.
Meanwhile, bottom, oh, Copy coming in with a double damage. They've locked up Sunlight to get the kill there onto the Troll. That's the rotation you were hoping for, especially being rune dependent, it seems like, on a couple of these ganks. But that works out perfectly. Oh, Jesus. The damage on the Mio with that DD.
Meanwhile,
Astro step forward.
yeah, Mio's chilling mid. Bane actually ends up dying up top, and low skill getting in kind of some trouble here. They have pressed the attack still, so they can just tank this tower. Unfortunately, Earth Spirit draws the aggro instead of the Legion Commander. Overwhelming odds in 2 seconds. They need to be kind of careful. Oh! That was close.
No Fade Bolt, though, no Telekinesis. Right clicks will come the way of Kuropath, but it won't get the kill onto the Legion Commander. Yeah, 5 up got melted under that tower.
Meanwhile, guess who's still chilling mid? It's Mio. Gyrocopter gets to like critical HP. She has Sonic Wave, and my man is sitting here in the mid lane with 3 points in Shadow Strike. So he like, it's not like he went for a farming oriented build where he can like alternate into the jungle with Scream of Pain. He's just chilling. Which definitely is my biggest criticism of Mio after watching 4 of his games at this point. He will find Zero, who stampedes away. Has...
Boulder Smash.
Yeah, it slows him down along with that
Oh.
Shadow Strike.
I don't know if...
Sonic Wave?
yeah, there it
There
is.
we go.
Finally getting committed.
Sound of
See, Mio only goes for kills if they literally fall into his lap.
If
A haste
you're
rune,
right
sure, I'll
around
go for it.
here.
Yeah, exactly. If Centaur's like in my lane, alright, whatever, I guess I'll do it.
And now he
And now
shows up
gets
towards bottom.
telekinesed.
Telekinesis
Yeah,
level
it's
1
like
is just not good.
Nope. But he even manages to get the arcane rune, so
Dire's bottom tower is under
It's
attack.
one of those skills
Dire's
that
structures are
in
fortified.
pubs I'll never take level 1. I just don't think it's worth it.
yeah,
And then I'll
it's
get
not.
I will agree to get yelled at by the rest of my team. Why don't I have my stun? Because it's 0.8 seconds.
Yeah.
It's just
It's and like your laning is way worse. This call down comes on, Legion Commander top.
and try to get away, but the Fable as well as the Telekinesis is there to get Kuropath, and it was a good setup there with the Nightmare. Get the call down out, Rocket Barrage at level 4. Legion Commander cleaned up, and KSK, despite the 1,000 net worth deficit, are in a pretty decent spot. How's Sunlight doing? He's top of the net worth.
Yeah, and despite that death earlier on, he's been basically getting every single last hit. Troll Warlord is a hero that can deal with creep cutting pretty well, just because his whirling axes makes it so that with the mischance on the creeps, he doesn't tank too much damage, and he obviously has like a low cooldown nuke, and he's actually just going to TP out well read, as he expects
Solar.
quite a bit of heroes in his lane, and Solar goes down in the top lane.
And it will be the first duel, I believe, for the Legion Commander, and a duel victory nonetheless. So, getting that 10 extra damage early on, and that's one of those things that I talked about with the Legion Commander, where if you don't really get the ball rolling, sometimes it feels like you fall flat pretty heavily. But one duel, one win. Certainly a great way to start it. And now, can they set up?
Radiant structure.
They got one outpost. The question is, are they going to grab both? It doesn't look like
Nah.
it.
KSK basically mirrored the movement, except instead of the mid laner rotating, it was their carry rotating, and so they will successfully take the bot tier 1, and it's a little bit slower from Family on the other side, so they could defend it. I'm seeing some pings come out from Earth Spirit.
Dire's top tower is under
and Kuro's gonna start cutting down some trees to see if he can find any TPs coming in, but don't really know if they're gonna be able to defend this without the Gyrocopter, who has his TP on cooldown for another 30 seconds.
Certainly not the quickest lumberjack.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Lumberjack, that's what you would go for.
Yeah, cutting down the trees. I'll give it to him.
Oh, Legion Commander. Okay. I thought you were referring to Gyrocopter, and I was just like, Gyrocopter seems more technologically advanced than a lumberjack.
Dire's top tower
He'd build something straight out of like
Right,
that Chippendale
exactly.
episode.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about, but Donald Duck ends up
don't.
creating a machine that destroys the apple trees pretty quickly.
Oh my god. Donald does that? What a villain. Low skill? He's dead.
Sonic Wave comes in, they get the cone of the Gyrocopter, they use
gets
the
stolen.
Stampede to try and get him out, and now there's the stolen Sonic Wave, taking out Sunlight. Good Magnetize coming through from 5 up, as I believe Kuropath is looking for a duel and will find it onto Solar to get the second duel victory. Now 20 damage in his hands, but they've got this Centaur in trouble. Back into the Will-O-Wisp, and ends up dead. So does Filmini. So 4 heroes got on the side of KSK, not CSK. And,
Dude, freaking Earth Spirit dealt so much damage. Earth Spirit dealt the second most damage in that team fight with that Magnetize. That was an amazing Magnetize. He had not been ganking for a while, so he had like all of his stones available, and he was just chain reacting on that on everyone. Along with that Will-O-Wisp, it was yeah, great sequence of events, great team fight, and yes, another dual victory yet again for the Legion Commander.
get that ball rolling. That Earth Spirit, yeah, very, very good movements here from 5 up, and I'm not too surprised. He played really well in that Earthshaker. His movements on the Earthshaker were really good, and I think that's one of the things that Earth Spirit benefits from very well, is that knowledge on where to rotate, how to rotate, and like having that feeling. Like there are some players who do it really well. I would say Bobica was one of those players that did it really well. Back when he was in the 4 position for IG, he just used to roam around, knew where to be, like a fortune teller. Just knew where to be before it even happened. That also goes to communication with the team too.
Yeah, definitely. You gotta. Earth Spirit's a hero that needs a +1, and you need teams that can cooperate with the Earth Spirit.
He's got the urn. Wonder if he'll finish that off into a Spirit Vessel.
Double damage.
Yeah, I would assume as much.
Dire's top tower.
It just seems like people value the aura. It was the pretty significant buff in the recent patches, and it just kind of makes it always valuable. Just against, it's like a team fight item now, which is very strange to think as Master Risk. Oh, roll
Solar?
connects onto Solar. Ooh,
Geomagnetic Grip, so he is in a lot of trouble. He's got the Stolen Scream though, and almost kills Master Risk with it. Jesus. And originally, people thought that that Spirit Vessel change was a nerf. It seems like it's just as popular as it was prior to the change.
yeah. I mean, there are definitely some instances in which it's weaker, but for the most part, it's just like objectively a nerf, because the item itself, it still provides nearly the same utility whenever you actively cast it on someone. It's like, it was 10% less or maybe 5% less. Somebody manages to scoop a haste rune. And that's like really insignificant at that point. Whereas just having it on all 5 heroes as an aura debuff, that's amazing, because like in this game specifically, you'll be able to mitigate the Bane's Brain Sap as 0, tanking and some damage. So you mitigate Brain Sap regen, Centaur's passive regen, and then I imagine eventually Gyro's going to get a Satanic if the game goes that late. So it's just so useful as like an all-purpose team fight debuff.
I will say Filmini and the experience difference between Team Family and KSK is massive. He is still just a level 5. He's about to hit that level 6, but look at the difference between him and the Coddle as well as the Earth Spirit. Like, this is a big, big spread between the two, and I think it's that Fiend's Grip just it's so valuable.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I don't even know if he took the tome, because if he took the tome and he's still level 5, then roll. They get the silence on the copy. They're gonna get the duel with the Stampede.
Stampede keeps him alive, and Kuropath forced back with that telekinesis as well as the Fade Bolt. won't play too aggressive near that tier 2 tower. And all the while, Sunlight just continuing to farm. He's got himself into the Maelstrom. He's looking for the BKB. Sitting top of the net worth by about 700 over the Gyrocopter, who is going first item Ags and just 1,000 gold away from that.
Worthy tribute.
This is why if you ever need a stand-in, having a carry stand-in is usually the best option because they don't need to make any calls for the first 15 or even like the first 25 minutes. The carry player does not need to make any calls. They don't need to communicate at all. All you need to do is look at the minimap, and that is the only language that you need to speak is like, where is my team? Are they winning? Great, then I need to be as far away from my team as possible. Are they losing? Okay, I need to be kind of in the vicinity of my team to make sure that, you know, we don't lose any objectives or anything. And so Sunlight is meshing very, very well with Team Family right now, and they're rushing? Or Sunlight's just going somewhere else. The rest of his team is going to smoke up, look for a duel.
They did catch vision on Sunlight going towards top, so they know that he's not in the area. This is a bit ambitious from 5 up. They've got the call down as well as the telekinesis. Fiend's Grip comes in on a Mio, and he's immediately cleaned up. But they get the duel out onto the Gyrocopter and will run. So Kuropath gets the kill onto the Gyro. They take out the Bema Filmini, but Copy now follows that up to get a kill onto the Legion Commander, and now might be able to turn this for more. Magnetize will wear out in just a second on 0. He looks over for Master Risk, who's inside the trees and safely away.
Yeah, this maxed out Nightmare build from Bane is actually kind of paying dividends. So he leads off with a Nightmare on the Legion Commander, and like, you need Legion Commander in the fight, right? And so Caudle takes it off. But then the problem is you kind of need Will-O-Wisp in the fight also. And so as a result, like, the Legion Commander, the Earth Spirit, and the Queen of Pain initiate because none of those heroes can take it off. And then the Will-O-Wisp is significantly delayed. So that fight does not go nearly as well as it should have, and Queen of Pain ends up going down as a result. Still a duel, you know?
The control on Mio was very clutch there from the Bane. And that
Yeah,
was the
finally, I mean,
importance of
we
it.
see how important the level 6 is.
Both Mio as well as the Troll of Sunlight look for that BKB. Sunlight just trying to get that recipe, 1,000 gold away. But he has been pretty much untouched for a while. Had a couple of deaths over in the laning phase of it all, but for right now, doing okay.
Yeah, once Troll gets that BKB, then as it is, Gyro is going to be very much under control as it's dual blade mail on the side of Radiant between the Queen of Pain and the Legion Commander, so like his Flak Cannon is just going to inadvertently end up killing himself. Same thing with his Aghanim Scepter. And then you only need to worry about the magic damage, which hopefully Sunlight should be able to deal with this very, very early BKB.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Gyro finishes that X. Well, the Troll is pulling further and further away.
Radiant's middle tower has
Yeah,
fallen.
which is pretty surprising without the Battle Fury. I feel like for some reason, I used to see Battle Fury all the time on Troll, and now, despite no real significant nerfs, I'm seeing Maelstrom and other items way more frequently as now Fight comes out.
And they look over Master Risk, press the attack, trying to keep this Caudle alive. Will end up falling to the Astral Step of Copy. Wind Missile flies in on a 5-up. They've got the BKB now on Sunlight. The question is, do they want to re-engage on this, as there's still a lot here for KSK in terms of potential control. Sunlight goes into the trees, but I believe they spotted that. Mio's here as well. 5-up moving up the trees.
They see Sunlight has his BKB, so it's kind of difficult to engage on this. But overall, KSK are playing way more team-oriented than we saw in Game 1. This is, I guess, partly a product of actually having 5 players who are willing to fight, as opposed to an anti-mage who does not want to fight ever. On a Gyrocopter with low skill, especially first item Aghanim Scepter, he's more than happy to join into combat. And so they're definitely flexing that dominance. Although, will they be able to take this outpost, or is 5-up just going to sneak it away from them? Bane's on the move. I would totally TP as soon as I see Bane start channeling this. He starts. They're going to let him have it. I guess they don't see where the rest of Dire are, so no point risking it.
So one apiece. That'll help Filmini this time. Take out an Observer Ward. Take out a Sentry. Filmini just clearing up some vision, but while all that's happening, got the side of Team Family looking to take the Aegis.
Yeah, they don't have like a Morbid Mask or anything for this Troll Warlord, but with Press the Attack, I think they have more than enough to stand. Oh, Zero just walks in. Oh, he still has plenty of time. He can totally steal this. No, drop something out of your slots.
That was early, but they got the Aegis down. It's picked up by Sunlight, and they got the kill. Sonic Wave comes in with the Will-O-Wisp down. They look over at Filmini, who's got the Fiend's Grip out onto the Kato, but he's already used his kit, and it really doesn't matter if he ends up getting Fiend's Grip in this situation. Zero dies to Sunlight. They look over at Filmini, who's got the Shadow Strike on him, but there's the duel and the victory at the last second for the Legion Commander.
No, Centaur. Okay, so you can click on Centaur now and you see that the Quelling Blade is in his backpack. That is not what happened. I think he specifically did that for the people who would be spectating him afterwards because he had all 6 of his slots filled whenever he killed that Roche. And as a result, despite very good timing on the Hoof Stomp and the Double Edge, which ultimately did not end up getting the kill, it was still well timed as Solar is going to dodge out 5-ups initiation here. Yeah, he could have taken the Aegis, but he had a full inventory.
Gotta be aware.
You gotta be aware. That is an expensive turnaround, and they don't even lose the Aegis. Sunlight still holds on to that. Battle Trance ends up keeping him alive, and he will be able to successfully take this tier 2 tower. That is a brutal turn of events.
To have this Aegis still means that they can set up and look for another fight, especially when the Sonic Wave comes up and the Will-O-Wisp if they want to wait for both.
Yeah, I imagine they will. As actually,
They'll pop the Aegis, so
take it
now
all.
maybe that's kind of out of the cards, but it's certainly still possible with just one life. You felt more comfortable having both the Aegis, but now the duel comes in onto this Centaur. Do they have the damage in time? Ooh, no, just late.
Still a value kill nonetheless. Oh, and Rubik steals Blink. That's... I mean, really any of Queen of Pain's spells are pretty good, but yeah, Blink and Scream are ideal in Sonic Wave, so... Maxed out Blink, Rubik with 3 points Telekinesis, 2 points Arcane Supremacy, so he can definitely catch this Queen of Pain out of position if they want to go for a fight, but with Centaur being dead for another 20 seconds, I think they may just have to let this top tier 2 tower go.
Interesting that 5-up didn't go for the Spare Vessel, but instead he's going for the Blade Mail.
Wow, they really hate this Gyrocopter. Like, he enters a team fight and he flat cannons like twice, and he's gonna lose half of his HP pool instantly. Pretty slick for them to let Sunlight push the top tier 2 all by himself while the rest of his team smokes. Pretty greedy, but also a clever maneuver, and now Sunlight will TP bot. They're just very systematically taking all of these outer structures that remain.
They're going to send Sunlight bottom. He'll push that lane next. Finish off the Mjolnir. I think that BKB's getting over for the Queen of Pain. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Mio's quite large right now.
Seems like a
Being able to-
pretty late Ags for the Void Spirit, too.
Yeah, that is a good point, actually.
Dire's bottom tower is under
I mean, he definitely stopped off for the Yules, but I would feel that it's possible that they just have not taken very many structures, and so now they're pushing top tier 1. So, whereas Killsteel Commando have all but one outer tower taken, with there's a lot of gold in their banks. Meanwhile, Killsteel Commando are still searching for structural objectives, and so they will be able to successfully take the top tier 1, but they need to be careful about their own high ground getting pushed, and clumsy net
gosh.
into the roll.
Filmini in trouble, and the duel onto the back lines, onto the Rubik. Can they get both these kills? Yes, they can. Filmini and Solar both die. Will-O-Wisp is down, but it grants them 2 kills. The buyback comes out from the Bane immediately, and Kuropath now sitting at 66 damage as they try to take the tier 3 tower, and should do so very quickly. On top of that, now on the back line, Sonic Wave hitting Filmini. 5-up ends up dead here to copy.
Oh,
Astral
Centaur
step
doesn't
forward.
have a TP scroll. Centaur's having to walk all the way back, and he had the Crimson Guard also. That would have been amazing for these fights. They will sacrifice Master Risk, but they did not want to have to give up that much. Oh, Mio walks into the Centaur.
Yeah, so Zero now trying to do as much damage as he can on a Mio. Mio, who doesn't have the Sonic Wave. They get the Fiend's Grip post BKB out onto the Troll. And they need to find a way to get the Troll out successfully, but they can't. So he dies, Legion dies, and Family Team, had they just gotten out of that, I mean, they would have been happy. But they end up giving up a bunch more than probably was necessary.
Can you not press the attack on spell immune allies? I thought you could, because... Okay, wait, hold on, let me look this up. Because she was just kind of... Legion Commander was just kind of staring...
Radiant structures are fortified.
Okay, so officially it says does not pierce spell immunity, so maybe you can't. And so by Troll Warlord activating that BKB, he actually made things worse because Legion could not dispel the Fiend's Grip. So yeah, that is a pretty clumsy maneuver from Team Family, with Mio initially getting caught out, blinking up for that bounty rune, and then meeting Centaur head on, and then Troll Warlord trying to save him, activating the BKB, immediately getting Fiend's Grip, and then Legion Commander was like, oh great, now I blinked in to help you and I can't.
Maybe not the best move there from Team Family. They did break the high ground, though. They got the tier 3, but spent a lot of time diving into the back of the base, getting a couple of kills there, end up losing a couple. Now they'll try to get themselves back onto the horse, as that was a Blink Hoof Stomp onto 3. Call down comes in, but there's the Will-O-Wisp. They'll lose Master Risk post Will-O-Wisp, but they take out Filmini. So now Zero as well as Low Skill trying to clean up the rest. They do get 5-Up who buys back. Sunlight goes into that Battle Trance, and ooh, Centaur low, but locks him down for a second. However, still losing his life. Copy falls as well. Low Skill on the run. Shadow Strike there as well as the overwhelming odds to finish him off. The only one alive is Solar, and I think Sunlight was thinking about going in. But
Yeah, he's so skited by this stolen Shadow Strike, he couldn't catch up with the Rubik, but I mean, oh wait, it's stealing the creep wave, and actually Troll is not going to escort it, so backdoor protection is going to come back. I don't know if they'll be able to take these Raxes in time, but Rubik doesn't finish off the creep wave, so it'll show up in time, and Gyro may have to buy back now, as one Rax is, again, okay, but two Raxes are kind of unacceptable. Same thing was the case for the Anti-Mage. They're going to Glyph. Wow, Rubik is managing to... I can't believe they're letting Rubik just steal these creep waves.
Well, now that he's got that blink, it's certainly a little bit more difficult to catch him.
Yeah, wow, Gyro's not going to have to buy back. Props to Solar. It's totally worth him giving up his life for this, and he doesn't even die. In fact, he's going to steal a DD rune now also. Very well played. Yeah, Solar has bought them quite a bit of time there. But that is also just like kind of clumsiness from Family. They should not let a Rubik... Like, as soon as that first Fade Bolt came out, Troll Warlord should have just started escorting the wave. Obviously, he is one of the fastest pushers, so it would be nice for him to be on the high ground, but, you know, backdoor protection being removed is also probably more valuable.
Roche will be back up in 2 minutes. Definitely a big objective coming up. Scan for the Dire came in, but unaware that Roche will not be up for quite a while, and they're going to smoke. So they'll have Zero lead the way so far. They've got Solar Copy smoked up behind him, as well as Filmini looking to help out. And there it is. Troll locked down. Press the attack comes in, as well as the telekinesis. He needs to be careful, but now going the other way with the Blade Mail. Call down comes in. They've got the Nightmare. They'll finally pull that off. They'll try to get the kill. The Nightmare back onto the Centaur. They'll get themselves the kill onto the Zero finally, but the Fiend's Grip comes in on Mio. And the stolen Sonic Wave hits both Sunlight as well as Mio. So now they lose 5-Up. He bought back in the previous engagement, so he's gone for 70 seconds without buyback. They bought back on the Centaur to try and make this more valuable for them, but this is not really turning into anything more. Maybe just also to go towards Roche potentially, but that's still a minute away.
Yeah, I have not... Zero has been playing very loose this game. I don't know, he may be a bit tilted, it seems, because he's getting caught in positions that, like, Centaur... Like, I have not seen him activate Crimson Guard, like, more than twice this entire game. and that was his first item that he completed, and his team is just not benefiting from it at all. So it's very important that he like is a little bit more cognizant of his positioning, because it shouldn't be that Legion Commander is cool dueling a Centaur. Centaur is like a hero that's like, okay, cool, you have to duel me as opposed to my Gyrocopter or as opposed to my Void Spirit, and yet it is worth it because he's such an important component with that Crimson Guard and the Stampede that they're more than willing to spend that cooldown on that hero.
Now with the side of KSK backed up, Master Risk will go into the Roche pit, spot that Roche is back up here with the Aegis and Cheese ready to be taken. See if family team go for it. They'll take themselves an outpost. Make sure that the team can't come in.
Yeah, they can take this pretty slow once taking that outpost, because the bot lane's going to be pushing. So I would assume that they may have waited until like the bot goes into high ground so they can confirm that someone has to defend it. But they're going for it right now. They take it very quickly with the Troll Warlord, to be fair. And they're going to smoke. Centaur walks
Zero
in.
comes in, and Aether Remnant pulls Sunlight, but not out of the pit.
Oh, the kickback.
Hef has the blink as well as the duel, and there comes with the Will-O-Wisp, but the stolen Sonic Wave again! They take out Mio and Kuropath. Mio buys back immediately. Now they look for the rest as Zero Solar and Filmini go down. Low skill trying to run away as Copy working on 5-up. Master Risk also hit the deck. They get the kill on the Gyrocopter. Now they look over at the Void Spirit, who will Astral Step across the bow of 5-up. Survives so far, but the Aether Remnant is right there to finish him off. Mio, who came back into the fight, able to get the kill into the Void Spirit, but they will get this Aegis. Great job from the Rubik again.
Yeah, it's basically Solar versus Sunlight, as amusing as that is based off of names. It also seems to be the case in the game because both of them are just having the biggest impact. Sunlight single-handedly won that fight. Obviously a great Will-O-Wisp follow-up as well, but in terms of damage dealing, Queen of Pain got blown up instantly. Troll Warlord dealt like 6.5k damage that entire fight. Queen of Pain dealt like 1.4k before she got insta-gived by her own Sonic Wave, which, again, props to this Rubik. He is doing a fantastic job this game, but his cores are not nearly as online as Sunlight is, and it's showing.
Sunlight taking a lot of damage very quickly. He's got the Satanic, though, and he'll be given the cheese. Nightmare still holding Mio still. They've got an Aether Remnant to continue that.
Yeah, Sunlight's just gonna Satanic off of some jungle creeps, so doesn't have to spend the cheese, still has the Aegis for quite a while, and the bot lane's pushing, so they don't need to leave. They can just stay here on the Dire half of the map, right at the bottom of the steps, and you just give Sunlight like a, I don't know, 5 seconds of fervor, and all of a sudden another tier 3 tower will be claimed.
He made the writing to go through their bottom lane. They don't have a smoke for that. Mio looking for an opportunity.
Sunlight?
And Sunlight in front. Hoof Stomp came in, but they've got the silence now through onto Zero. They'll take out the Aegis very quickly.
Oh, and this Aether Remnant's going to catch him immediately.
So
He's not going to be able to
very
BKB.
Careful. Gets that BKB off. Now looks over at the Bane, who I believe used that Fiend's Grip. No, he still got it. Okay, so Filmini on the run, but it doesn't look like he's going to keep his life. Magnetize comes in as well as the silence. They get the kill into 5-up. Filmini dies as well, but Filmini's going to buy back. Sunlight. He's alive for the moment in the battle trance, trying to survive, but the stun comes in. He's too deep inside the base. The Fiend's Grip now through onto the Legion Commander. They get the kill onto 3 here on Team Family. And once again, they don't stay objective-based, and they are paying for it dearly. Master Risk, the next one in trouble, and the next one to die.
Poor Troll Warlord. He had so if you start an attack on a structure and then you activate Battle Trance like while you're mid attack animation, then you'll be stuck on that structure. Whereas usually Battle Trance will draw you directly to heroes and then you'll get a bunch of lifesteal. Instead, he was just whacking away at this like shrine moonwell kind of thing or whatever, and he wasted like at least like 2 seconds of his Battle Trance and did not lifesteal up as much as he was hoping, so didn't even get time to activate the Satanic. The way that Aether Remnant works, it always beats out whenever you're Aegis respawning, so you won't be able to activate BKB, so really it was just his status resistance from the Satanic that allowed him to even get close enough to activate that BKB, but he may have to buy back for this.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Creep's starting to push through bottom, and Astral Step, Aether Remnant with the Yules, 5 up, in trouble again, 5 up, dead once more.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He's up in 15 seconds now, so Earth Spirit may have given his life for the cause. And Mio has Sonic Wave if he wants to try to draw these off, but they're not going to pursue any Raxes. Their own base is getting pushed in. Although it's kind of a fake back. This is a very obvious fake, though, because, again, like, their tier 4s are getting pushed. Someone's going to defend that. And Sunlight, he's walking out of the base.
Dire's middle tower.
And then he walks back, okay.
Be careful, double catapult.
Radiant
Yeah, I mean, they're going to go back now. They were just hoping for maybe someone to venture off
is under attack.
in the initial retreat, but they will not oblige. Okay, no, now you're right. Yeah, someone definitely needs to show up. Do they not have TPs or something?
they all
no,
do.
Gyro has a TP.
I'm
Boy, they
looking.
all have TPs. Bro, it's 2 catapults. Yeah, what the hell? They're gonna lose a tier 4 tower almost.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Copy wasn't even like Aether Rem or Astral stepping over there. He was just like chilling. All right, well, that's a lot of tier 4 tower damage, and now Family are actually gonna smoke up. It is quite a while until Roche would respawn, so even if they die, it's not that big of a deal. But they're hoping to find someone who may push out the spot lane.
Glimmer Cape with the smoke about to run out. They've got a sentry down. They're looking potentially for a duel with the Blade Mail getting popped. Great Yules coming in from Copy, and now the Legion's the one in trouble. They also got the Fiend's Grip out on the Troll. They get the kill here on a Kuropath as the Dissimilate comes under the hands of Master Wrist. They've got 2 now, 3 dead. BKB's been popped by low skill, but there comes the Battle Trance. Sunlight trying to survive, trying to break through these heroes, but the Nightmare is there. The Hoofstomp suns up the Queen of Pain and make it 4, potentially a 5th. Sunlight trying to fight through it all with the Satanic. He gets the kill on a 0, and now we look to the rest. They get the kill here on the Rubik, or do they? He's surviving with Battle Trance of his own. He
Battle
finally ends
Trance.
up dying. Now they look over at low skill. Can Sunlight get this 5v1? And this is insane. Blink, Host Stomp comes through as well as the Astral Step. Finally, they take Sunlight's life away. It cost them another buyback on 0.
Tower is under
Oh man, Family back to even now. This is just falling apart for them.
Yeah, and 0 gets redemption. That hoof stomp onto that Queen of Pain was definitely fight winning, because if she was able to get that Sonic Wave off, they were all clumped up. She was in prime position to do it. That would have been probably the end of the game. I guess Gyrocopter could have probably bought back, instead opts to complete out the full E-Blade. So he's not going to have buyback, unless if he already bought back? No, yeah, he buys out the full E-Blade before Roche is up, so this is kind of a gamble from Gyrocopter. It is going to be very valuable, obviously, being able to effectively disarm the Troll Warlord, who cannot buy back. He's like quite a bit of gold short. But they can't go for Megas, because there are 2 other tier 4 or tier 2 towers up still. So really, at most, they'll be able to take 1 set of racks. And they'll have to wait for Roche potential to respawn in 1 minute.
middle barracks are under attack.
But yeah, 0 with that hoof stomp. Mio
Has fallen.
has not been playing that well this game.
Top tower is under attack.
Just giving up like all these Sonic Waves to Rubik and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's been rough.
Bit unfortunate at times, but I don't know if it's Mio playing that poorly, or Solar just really playing well. He's 2-6 and
Solar's-
16.
Yeah, this Rubik is definitely like single-handedly game winning. Like if they win the game, it's entirely because of this Rubik being able to stall out that earlier push by stealing the creep wave, these clutch steals on Sonic Wave and stuff like that. He's been putting the team on his back for sure.
You can see what Sunlight's able to do, though. 1v5, it looked like he had a chance to get something done. But there's the Blink as well as the Hoof Stomp. It's avoided with the BKB being popped by Sunlight. They've got the Stampede to try and run away from this. They've got the duel out onto the Centaur as well as the Willows. That locks up Filmini. The Geomagnetic Grip! That silences up the Bane! This gives them an opportunity to try and fight on this. The Battle Trance comes in as he's hit with that E-Blade. Sunlight trying to heal up here as he starts hitting away, but it's not going to be enough. He'll end up dead. So they get the kill there. He's down for 100 seconds without buyback. They bought back on both the Legion as well as the Earth Spirit. Meanwhile, Filmony did end up surviving, uses that Fiend's Grip, and all of a sudden KSK have themselves a 7,000 net worth lead. They'll go into the Roche Pit. They just choose in Ag's Blessing, now potentially in the hands of KSK.
Yeah, he ends up getting the Fiend's Grip, a full channel duration on that Queen of Pain, so Mio was just like not in that fight at all for the entirety of it, and at this point it's like it's pretty solidly in Dire's favor. Zero is more than happy to get dueled at this point. Oh wow, okay, so Caudle gets caught out as well. Yeah, like Centaur, he has 5k HP with this stout Witless Shaco, so there's no way you're going to be able to burn through all of that. Yet again, Zero, I'm assuming he did not get a chance to cast Crimson Guard, because I had clicked on him earlier and I didn't see any of the effects, but whatever the case, he is super tanky in his own right, and this initiation, like the Blade Mails are irrelevant now for Gyrocopter. He's got 27 armor with this E-Blade agility. He can just go face first into every single fight, whereas this Queen of Pain has to be worried about so many things.
Queen of Pain did get a Spell Prism, so always nice to have that cooldown reduction. And it puts Scream on a 5.6 second cooldown, as well as Shadow Strike on a 3.2 second cooldown.
Yeah, that actually makes level 25 quite important for her.
Copy, with the Fat Finger BKB. That's unfortunate.
Rough.
They give the Ag's Blessing to the Rubik because Centaur, Void Spirit, and Gyro all already have Ags.
Oh wow, yeah.
Is under attack.
And Banezag is utterly garbage, so definitely give it to the Rubik there. And I mean, given his steals, it's pretty great. And actually, he has Battle Trance stolen, so the very rarely unseen offensive Battle Trance can be used, where he casts it like, I don't know, onto the Queen of Pain to bring the Queen of Pain into their fight. It's pretty bad, so I would not be surprised if he just uses it on himself just to stay alive, but there is potential.
This game is
Dire's top tower is under attack.
really turned over on its head, but not to say that this game isn't out of the hands of Team Family just yet.
There's a double catapult wave up top, and no one's defending it. Sunlight is really toying with the idea of going for it, but it would not be in his best interest. Instead, they're gonna have to smoke and walk back, and Gyrocopter will TP back. I don't even know what the next big spike will be for Family. I don't really consider Troll to be... Troll's not like a terrible rapier carrier, but at the same time, I don't think it'll solve the problems that he's having this game, which is that he's like the only person who's dealing damage on his team. The rest of his team is just like watching him as a cheerleader squad, but at this point, it's out of the hands of one person to single-handedly kill 5 people.
I think maybe if Mio was closer to level 25.
Yeah.
Because
Like
the
with
experience
Prism
is-
and the Fear, that could make a big difference.
it's
Because
a-
I'm like, how many BKBs do they even have on Dire? They have Copy has a BKB, and Gyro has a backpacked BKB, or now it's active BKB. So, I mean, being able to have that Fear against the Bane, the Rubik, the Centaur, that can make a pretty significant difference. And Mio is now basically just like dancing around the map, trying to find all the experience he can.
Radiant structures are
This is a little bit tough. The experience difference is 30,000 in favor of KSK. There was a point where it was a lot more beneficial here for the side of Family Team. They're doing a lot of damage to low skill.
Oh, the dash.
He might want to be careful on this one, but he goes in and gets the Satanic off. Now in the back lines, though, look at where Legion is. All the way out away from his team, and will end up dead. Doesn't have buyback, gone for 90 seconds. And that's a big part of this team fight.
Yeah, wow, that didn't even take Fiend's Grip. They just... Was it just Void Spirit killing him? He didn't even have to activate BKB. How did that Legion Commander die? Jeez.
Got, I believe, hit by the Dissimulate stun and then just got robbed.
Okay.
Silence Hoof Stomp could BKB, but there's the Fiend's Grip from the Bane. And now they need to find a way to stop this, but the Silence comes through onto the Coddle, and he does not have Will-O-Wisp. Get the kill there onto the Queen of Pain, who buys back. They'll also take out 5 up. The Magnetize doing a decent chunk. They finally take out 0. They look to get the kill on a low skill, but Mio blinks in there, and I don't think ever threw a scream. They finally take the Aegis away. Sunlight, he's got that Battle Trance. He'll finally use it. They've got the bash. They'll get the kill onto the Void Spirit, who doesn't have buyback. He's gone for 100 seconds, but they've disarmed Sunlight, who now needs to run, but he gets hit by the homing missile. And he thinks about turning around and activating that Satanic, but can never get it off, and ends up dead for 99 seconds. No buyback there either. And finally, Void Spirit has his buyback, now at 5 versus the world.
Man, all of their buybacks are because of the gold. Well, actually, Legion Commanders is because of duration, and same thing with Earth Spirits, but yeah, Troll Warlord is short some gold, and he may have to deal with Mega Creeps now. And as much as I've been giving a lot of credit to Rubik, Filmini has definitely shown himself to be way more of a force to be reckoned with than I was expecting this game. I thought that with the Legion Commander and the Will-O-Wisp and the... Oh, duel? Onto the Gyro?
Can they get the kill here? They've got the BKB, but Gyro ends up being the winner of that one, so they give the dual damage over, they get the kill on Mio, and GG will be called by Team Family, pushing this one to a game 3.
I'd say everyone had their moment in the sun on KSK. Rubik was definitely the initial MVP and overall MVP